Hollywood, 1947. A city of bright lights, high hopes, and big dreams. But beneath the glamour lies a darker side, a place where dreams can quickly turn into nightmares. On January 15, 1947, that dark side became all too real when the body of a young aspiring actress named Elizabeth Short was found brutally murdered in Los Angeles. Today, we're diving into one of Hollywood's most infamous and unsolved cases, the Black Dahlia murder. Background on Elizabeth Short. Elizabeth Short was born in 1924 in Boston, Massachusetts, and grew up in a modest family. Like many young women of her time, Elizabeth dreamed of fame, fortune, and the allure of Hollywood stardom. She moved to California, hoping to make it big as an actress. With her striking dark hair, fair skin, and love for wearing black clothing, Elizabeth became known as the Black Dahlia, a nickname that would follow her into infamy. Her life in Hollywood, however, was not what she imagined. Struggling to find steady work and living a transient life, Elizabeth often relied on friends and acquaintances for help. She moved frequently, taking on odd jobs and mingling with people from all walks of life. Despite the hardships, she remained determined to chase her dreams. The discovery of her body. On the morning of January 15, 1947, a woman named Betty Berzinger was walking with her young daughter through Leimert Park, a quiet neighborhood in Los Angeles. As they strolled past an empty lot, something unusual caught Betty's eye. At first glance, she thought it was a broken mannequin lying in the grass. But as she got closer, she realized, to her horror, that it was the body of a young woman, severed in two at the waist. The body was later identified as Elizabeth Short. She had been brutally mutilated, her face slashed from the corners of her mouth up to her ears, creating a terrifying Glasgow smile. Her body was carefully posed, with her hands placed above her head and her lower half arranged nearby. The cuts on her body were precise, suggesting that the killer had some knowledge of surgical techniques. The investigation begins. Elizabeth's murder sent shockwaves through Los Angeles, and soon, the case of the Black Dahlia dominated headlines across the country. The Los Angeles Police Department launched one of the largest investigations in its history. Detectives worked tirelessly to trace Elizabeth's final days and uncover any clues that could lead them to her killer. But the investigation was anything but straightforward. As detectives delved into Elizabeth's life, they encountered a web of secrets, acquaintances, and unanswered questions. Elizabeth had no steady home, no reliable income, and she frequently moved around. She was known to associate with a variety of people, including soldiers, aspiring actors, and even some questionable figures. The media frenzy and public interest. The media played a significant role in the Black Dahlia case. The press sensationalized Elizabeth's murder, painting her as a dark, mysterious figure. They emphasized her appearance, her nickname, and her social life, turning her into a tragic, almost mythical figure. The press coverage drew public interest and speculation, creating a media circus that complicated the investigation and added pressure on the police to find her killer. The police interviewed over 150 suspects, ranging from ex-boyfriends to acquaintances, but leads quickly ran dry. As the weeks passed, so did hope of finding Elizabeth's killer. Despite their best efforts, detectives were left with more questions than answers. Theories and main suspects. Over the years, several theories and suspects have emerged in the search for the Black Dahlia's killer. Some of these suspects have become well known, each with their own connections to Elizabeth or suspicious behavior. Let's take a look at some of the most prominent suspects. Theory 1, Dr. George Hodel. Perhaps the most notorious suspect in the Black Dahlia case is Dr. George Hodel, a wealthy Los Angeles physician with a dark reputation. Decades after the murder, Dr. Hodel's own son, Steve Hodel, a former LAPD detective, began investigating his father after discovering disturbing evidence. George Hodel had a history of mental instability, a fascination with surrealism, and even hosted bizarre gatherings at his mansion, known as the Soden House. Steve Hodel uncovered evidence linking his father to the crime. He discovered photos of a woman who resembled Elizabeth, learned that his father had the medical knowledge to perform the mutilations, and even found a witness who remembered George making unsettling statements about murder. Some believe that George's wealth and connections allowed him to evade capture. Despite the circumstantial evidence, there was no conclusive proof to convict him. Theory 2, Crime of passion by an acquaintance. Another theory suggests that Elizabeth was killed by someone she knew personally, perhaps a lover or acquaintance who acted out of jealousy or anger. Elizabeth's lifestyle made her vulnerable to dangerous encounters, and she often relied on the kindness of strangers. It's possible that someone became infatuated with her, only to lash out when she didn't reciprocate their feelings. However, without clear evidence or witnesses, this theory remains speculative. Theory 3. The sadistic stranger. A third theory proposes that Elizabeth was the victim of a sadistic stranger. The gruesome nature of her murder suggests a disturbed individual with violent tendencies. Some believe her murder was the work of a stranger who preyed on vulnerable women, driven by dark impulses. However, this theory lacks substantial evidence and leaves the killer's motive and identity a mystery. Why the case remains unsolved. Despite the extensive investigation and numerous theories, the Black Dahlia case remains unsolved to this day. In 1947, forensic technology was limited, and the handling of evidence was not as meticulous as it would be today. Furthermore, the intense media coverage and public fascination created a frenzy that complicated the case, leading to false leads and unreliable tips. Some believe that if the Black Dahlia murder occurred today, modern forensic techniques might have solved the case. But with decades gone by, key evidence lost, and witnesses no longer around, the chances of solving this mystery grow slimmer by the year. Legacy and cultural impact. The Black Dahlia murder is more than just a crime, it's become a symbol of Hollywood's dark side. Elizabeth Short's tragic story has inspired countless books, documentaries, and films. Her death represents the dangers that lurk behind the glamorous facade of Hollywood, a reminder that even the most beautiful dreams can hide ugly truths. Today, the Black Dahlia case remains one of the most infamous unsolved mysteries, and the fascination with Elizabeth's story continues. She has become a figure of both tragedy and resilience, a symbol of Hollywood's forgotten dreams. Conclusion. So, who killed the Black Dahlia? Was it Dr. George Hodel, a spurned lover, or a random sadist? Or was it someone else entirely, someone whose name has never come up in connection to the case? The truth may be lost to history, but Elizabeth's story lives on. Her name is forever etched in Hollywood's dark history, a mystery that remains unsolved. Thank you for joining us on this journey into the haunting case of the Black Dahlia. If you enjoy true crime and mysterious stories, don't forget to subscribe to the Enigma Files for more. Share your theories in the comments. Do you think the killer will ever be revealed? Until next time, stay curious and keep searching for answers.